Heraclitus, a 500 BC Greek philosopher, once said the only constant in the world is change. This made me to recollect the changes happened to me. I have found the people who born between 1960 and 1970 had seen many change. Being born in 60s, it's about my generation. During 60s the tipper buses were used for public transport. These buses had a petrol engine which used a crank lever to start it from outside the bus. Bedford was the major player during this time. In mid-60s, omnibuses started slowly replacing the tipper ones. Tata-made Mercedes-Benz buses were the premiers in the action. Power starter got introduced by then. During mid-70s the diesel engine started replacing the petrol buses. High-speed Fargo also was introduced during this time. People used to walk quite long distances during this time. Poor road connectivity and the less number of buses were the reasons. Mid-70s witnessed both the Indian public transport giants like Ashok Leyland and Tata getting their grip tight on public transport sector. Meantime, on the other side, tipper trucks were carrying tons of cargo across the country. By late 70s, omni trucks came to change the face of Indian cargo movement. Bullock carts were also doing their part of job during all these days. They were the only transport the rural India had, for public transport and cargo transport. Most of the rural roads were narrow for bus. Further down in the rural India the roads were still narrow, where the hand-pulled carts were carrying cargo. By 80s however the three-wheeler auto trucks taken over both the bullock cart and hand cart. Though the auto rickshaws were there since 1947, until late 70s less people were using it. But 80s had seen a giant leap in the number of commuters. Autos became more sophisticated like what we have now. The Jeep made by Mahindra and Mahindra since 1947 under the license of Willys, were the main mode of transport in the further difficult terrains of rural India. Both public and cargo movements. Do you know, we had our first train journey in a steam locomotive-pulled trains. These trains were meter gauge. That means it was much less wider coaches than what we see now. The single-line system were so painful, we had to wait long time in some stations for the train which is coming from opposite direction. By mid-70s, we had diesel engine-pulled trains. We had seen meter gauge changing into broad gauge. We had also seen tracks were getting doubled, introduction of electric engines. We never dreamt in our worst nightmare that we have trains which can travel above 100 km per hour. In reality we are now waiting to travel in 400 km per hour by the expected bullet train. Owning a motor vehicle was a sign of luxury during 60s and 70s. Though we had a few guys in every locality was owning a Enfield Bullet. This is India's first bike with 350cc 4-stroke engine. The Jaguar, another European with a 250cc 2-stroke engine, was also there to choose with. Ideal Jaguar India, a subsidiary of Jaguar Moto of Czech Republic, has introduced another 250cc 2-stroke bike named Yezdi during 1971. Meantime, in early 70s, the Automobile Products of India has introduced a scooter called Lambi, with the license from Lambretta of Italy. In the mid-70s, another Indian automobile company called Scooters India had begun production of their scooter named Vijay Super, in 1975. In the year 1990, Bajaj Automobiles brought India's much-loved scooter called Chetak. This scooter had a rather funny troll that tilt it before you kick. Many a time this worked to start this scooter easily. The IND Suzuki India's first 100cc bike was the beginning of the new era in Indian automobile industry. This Japanese technology made our life more easy with a single kickstart. The next one to hit the Indian roads was the legendary Yamaha RX100. This two-stroke bike is still admired by many people in India. The joint venture between Hero MotoCorp and Honda Japan brought the first 100cc four-stroke bike to India. The Hero Honda CD100. This is the beginning of four-stroke bikes era in India, though the legendary Bullet was there from beginning. Meanwhile, India was witnessing a huge change in scooter traveling. Kinetic Honda changed the entire concept of geared scooter. We have now only automatic scooters at present. Hindustan Motors started building the Ambassador on the Morris Oxford platform in 1957, had gone a long way up to 2014. Though the production stopped, the car is still on Indian roads. The Premier Automobiles started their production in the name Padmini, well known as Premier Padmini, in the year 1964, under the license of Fiat. In the year 1981, Maruti Suzuki launched Maruti 800. This car had changed the Indian concept about a car. This company still holding more than 50% of the total sales in Indian market. In the new millennium, we had seen an exponential growth in automobile industry. More than 90% from this list are at our service now. Thanks to visionary P.V. Narasimha Rao, our ex-Prime Minister. We bow to you, sir. This is the end of part 1. There are many more to come in this series. Please subscribe this channel. Press the bell icon to get the notification. Thank you for watching this channel.